Welcome to Politics News Wolf US channel. Ukrainian army eliminates headquarters and field warehouse of Wagner mercenaries in Sodar. The press office of the 45th Separate Artillery Brigade posted a video of an artillery attack on social media on January, saying that the Ukrainian armed forces destroyed the headquarters and field warehouse of Russian Wagner mercenaries in Sodar in Donetsk Oblast. The video shows Ukrainian shells hitting boxes piled up in the garden of the house by Russians. Ammo boxes explode. The artillery brigade uses private houses and gardens for the invaders' headquarters and warehouses, but our artillery sees everything. Ukrainian soil is on fire and will burn under the feet of the enemy. Ukrainian soldiers said that clashes continue in Bach. The Ukrainian army also released drone footage showing the town of Bakhmut on the eastern front line being battered on Sunday, January 22. The video showed impact craters between residential areas damaged, high-rise apartment blocks, and a dilapidated shopping mall in western Bakhmut. A newspaper active in the area was able to confirm the locations in both videos from the building seen in the video that matched the file and satellite images of the area. The current clashes are centered in the town of Bakhmut, where Russia's Wagner mercenaries and Ukrainian forces are locked in battle. Germany's Foreign Intelligence Service said the Ukrainian army is losing triple-digit numbers of soldiers around Bakhmut every day. A news magazine reported on Friday, January 20, after the attack by the Ukrainian artillery. New details began to emerge. Ukrainian army hits 4 ammunition depots of Wagner mercenaries in Sodar. The commander of a separate tactical air reconnaissance group with the call sign, MAR, said that in Sodar in the Donetsk region, the defense forces destroyed 4 local ammunition depots belonging to mercenaries from the Wagner PMC. In a day, the Ukrainian army posted on its social media channel a video of the defeat of the objects of the Wagner rights. The Marbirds aerial reconnaissance group worked together with the 45th Separate Artillery Brig. The Ukrainian army used drones to survey the territory of the city, and the artillery closed the objects of the mercenaries. Today there are 3 local warehouses and mobile ammo points in the city that belong to the occupiers. Matter commented. As the Ukrainian news agency previously reported on January 13, the presidential representative in Parliament Fedor V. Slovs told us that the defense forces control part of Sodar. That same day, Andrei Yerman, head of the presidential office, said in an interview with Le Monde, that Sodar is a gray zone for both the Ukrainian army and the WAG. And in today's intelligence review, the British Ministry of Defense noted that the Ukrainian army is holding its positions in Sodar. It seems that more difficult days await the Russian army in Ukraine. Former Russian commander explains why Putin's success in Ukraine is impossible. Igor Girkin, a former Russian commander, explained on Sunday why Russian President Vladimir Putin's success in Ukraine after nearly 11 months of war was On February 24, 2022, Putin ordered an invasion of Ukraine aiming for a swift victory over its Eastern European neighbor, which is thought to have a smaller and less capable army than Moscow, but Ukraine responded with a stronger than expected defensive effort backed by Western military aid and blunted Russian military. Putin's invasion exposed weaknesses within the Moscow military and created the opportunity for Ukraine to launch its own counter-offensive in the fall. During these counter-attacks, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky troops recaptured thousands of square miles of previously occupied territory because Putin is increasingly relying on the Wagner, a Russian paramilitary unit, to achieve new victories, as in the Battle of Sodar earlier this month. However, the Biden administration has rejected claims that Russia now completely controls Sodar in a phone briefing. Last week, John Kirby's Strategic Communications Coordinator at the National Security Council White House said, referring to Sodar and Bakhmut, "We don't consider that the Russians actually took both cities unilateral." Erkin, who became famous for his military role in the 2014 annexation of Crimea, revealed in a social media post on Sunday, the most important factor hindering Russia's successes in Ukraine. The former Russian commander pointed out that low morale among Putin's troops made success impossible for the Russian leader. Erkin said that the majority of the mobilized soldiers of the armed forces of the Russian Federation lacked the motivation to make sacrifices when conducting hostilities against the armed forces of. Since the objectives of the war are not simply disclosed by the authorities, but not even officially defined, while Gherkin, who describes himself as a Russian nationalist, does not oppose the Ukrainian war, he has been increasingly critical of the Kremlin leadership as the war has stagnated in recent months. He added that the leaders are limited in their disciplinary action as Russia officially classifies the invasion as a special military operation rather than a. He explained that Russia could deploy elite units only in the very narrow confined areas for successful attacks, but a larger offensive would require numerical and technical superiority over Ukraine. However, Erkin said these conditions are not guaranteed when facing the most persistent and professional Ukrainian troops. According to Gherkin, due to low morale, an attack could only be saved if the Ukrainian soldiers were in an even worse. Erkin said, facing steady and skillful enemy resistance, such an offensive would inevitably be destroyed by the impossibility of ordering to force his troops into battle with the necessary military dexterity. Erkin is not the only expert to attribute low morale to Russia's failure to achieve important goals in Ukraine. Morale had been seen as a major weakness among Russian troops for months and was only exacerbated by. The UK Ministry of Defence said the weather itself in November will likely see an increase in precipitation, wind speed, and snowfall. Each of these will bring additional challenges to the already low morale of the Russian forces, but will also present problems for kit maintenance. The Institute for the Study of War ISWA, a US-based think tank, also assessed last November that morale among Russian troops was extremely low. The ISW said significant losses on the battlefield in Ukraine. Mobilization to the front lines without proper training and insufficient supply have led to cases of desertion. Russia ramps up the pace for 140,000 dead soldiers in a year of. Russia has reportedly lost so many soldiers in the Ukraine war in the last 11 months. That next month could see a total of 150,000 dead by the first month of the war. A more conservative figure estimates that 140,000 Russian soldiers be destroyed within a month from today. These estimates come from the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. Ukraine estimates that Russia lost 690 soldiers yesterday, and that Russia's total losses have resulted in an estimated 122,170 soldier deaths in the last 11 months. The war between Russia and Ukraine entered its 11th month on Tuesday, and Russia's casualties have increased in the past few. With an average of 500 to 700 casualties per day, Russia could lose another 15,000 to 21,000 casualties over the next 30 days, meaning 140,000 to 150,000 casualties since February 24, 2022. When the war began, Ukraine's defense ministry listed 600 Russians killed on Sunday, bringing the fourth-day total to 2,290 Russian casualties. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, in his New Year's address to the nation, said that Russia is scared and feels fear. Zelensky said they are afraid, you can feel it, and they are right to be. Because they are losing UAVs, missiles, nothing else will help them because we are together and they are only with fear. Russia's offensive war in Ukraine is now in its 12th month. But they were repulsed by Ukrainian fighters and failed to take the capital Kiev. Ukrainian fighters also put up a staunch defense in northern cities such as Kiev, where they pushed back Russian troops towards the nearby border. Although Russia suffered many casualties in the war, entering its 49th week, it shifted its focus to eastern and southern Ukraine. This includes a strong presence in the Black Sea. Thank you for watching the video. If you find it useful, please comment and share the video for us. It will make our channel more known. See you in the following videos. Thank you very much.